Today, we're going to be talking about the differences between DoorDash and Grubhub, which is the better delivery service to work for. So stick around all the way to the end, and I'm going to give you the answer. You're going to know how the pay structure works, you're going to know how much flexibility there is, and you're going to know how to sign up for these services. All right, let's dig into it. So difference number one, market share. And this is like not even close. This is like David and Goliath stuff. DoorDash has 65% of the market share for delivery services. Grubhub has 9%. It is way, way different. And what that means, like you might be wondering, like, why does that even matter? It's about order volume. There is so much more order volume on DoorDash because they are so aggressive about getting customers. They buy customers at a crazy clip. They spend a ton on marketing and advertising, and that means that they have a lot of orders. That also means that they need a lot of drivers to fill those orders. And we work with these companies, and I can just tell you from experience, DoorDash is like beating our door down to get more drivers because they need drivers in specific cities. The other ones that are smaller, like Grubhub at 9% of the market share, like they don't have as much marketing budget to go out there and get as many customers. So it's just slimmer for them. Like it takes a little bit longer for them to get customers, and they don't have as much need for drivers. So when it comes to market share and order volume and opportunity to actually drive and deliver these orders, DoorDash is like way up here. Grubhub's like way down here. So DoorDash is the winner of market share. All right, driver requirements. So honestly, they're the same for like most of the companies. All right, there is one big difference between DoorDash and Grubhub. So we're going to go through the actual requirements, and then I'm going to reveal the difference at the end of this comparison. So DoorDash, you have to be 18 to deliver. You need access to a smartphone, you have a valid driver's license, auto insurance, and you need to provide your social security number because you are going to need to do a background check for DoorDash. Now, on the other hand, Grubhub, you need to be 18, so same thing. You need to own an iPhone with iOS 11, it's like very specific requirements, iOS 11 or higher, or an Android with 5.0 or higher, and you have to have a data plan. You're going to have a checking account for direct deposit. If you're 18 years old, you need to have a valid driver's license for 1 year. If you're 19, you need to have a valid driver's license for 2 years. But the biggest difference is that you don't have to do a background check for Grubhub. And we actually get emails all the time from people that want to be DoorDash drivers. They're like, hey, got a little bit of a history. I did something a little shady in the past and I got denied for DoorDash. That's because you can't have a criminal record with DoorDash, right? It's something to consider. I think just because of that one fact, we're going to go ahead and say that Grubhub is the winner, but they're basically the same. All right, now let's talk about driver pay. Again, with all these delivery services, like you can go through all the forums, you can talk to drivers. We've surveyed, we've done case studies with drivers. They're all pretty similar. And I think drivers have their favorite, like they like driving for DoorDash or they like driving for Uber Eats or they like driving for Grubhub. But the economics of all these things are relatively similar. You're going to make about the same amount of money, but they do have very different pay models. So DoorDash has base pay, which is $2 to $10 an hour. And a lot of what we found is that you can squeeze in about 2 deliveries per hour, depending on how far you're driving, if you're in a city or if you're like in a stretched out like suburban metropolis. It just depends on where you're doing it, but you can expect to do about 2 per hour. Now with DoorDash, you keep 100% of your tips. There's also peak pay, which is $1 to $4 or more. And one of the cool things that DoorDash does is they offer challenges. So this is like an extra incentive for you to go and do a certain number of orders. And then there's also Drive, which is larger orders. So you get paid more because the orders are larger and a little bit more of a pain. Now the Grubhub criteria for pay is delivery pay plus Grubhub contribution plus tips plus missions or special offers. Now, honestly, these are pretty similar, right? Like all these services, you make about the same amount of money. Really depends on how many drives you can get in a certain amount of time, what the tips look like. But we're going to give DoorDash the win here because there's more orders. And typically we see DoorDash drivers just make more money than we do with the Grubhub drivers. So difference number 4, schedule flexibility. So the reality is these are really flexible side hustles. Like these are great entry-level side hustles. It's not hard to get into them at all. And that's why people love them, right? Like they like being able to drive around and just turn on the app and start making money. Who doesn't like that? So we're going to talk about how the flexibility works within each app. All right, so with DoorDash, you can block out orders in advance. And if there aren't enough orders, they will prioritize drivers that have scheduled versus ones that have not. There's also the Dash Now feature. So if there's extra order volume in a certain area, then there's more opportunities for you to make money. Now with Grubhub, same thing. You need to schedule your blocks to work in. And that's because you're going to have priority over non-scheduled drivers when you're close to an order. And Pro and Premier drivers are actually going to get early access to block out hours over brand new drivers. So that's something to consider. Now for both of these, let's talk about good work hours, just what we see with order volume. So evening is really good, 4 to 8 p.m. Friday, Saturday is good. If it's bad weather, we actually see a lot of drivers don't like to drive in bad weather. So you might have some extra opportunity to drive if the weather kind of sucks, but the order volume goes up when the weather's bad because people don't want to go out. So for somebody that doesn't mind some rain, some cold, that's a good time for you to go out and drive. And then large events. If there's a big concert in town, if there's a big game in town, more orders are going to happen. Now, when it comes to flexibility, we're going to give DoorDash the edge here because I think there's more opportunity for new drivers to have success, where Grubhub kind of really weights it towards experienced drivers. And also there's more order volume for DoorDash. You're going to get more of those Dash Now opportunities. So DoorDash gets the nod from us on schedule flexibility. All right, last but not least, let's talk about when you get paid, which one is better, DoorDash or Grubhub. With DoorDash, you get paid every week via direct deposit on Wednesdays. You can also cash out faster with FastPay. It costs $1.99 when you do that. And you can use their prepaid Visa card and transfer money up to 3 times without any additional charge, which is nice. Now, with Grubhub, payments are sent on Thursdays with direct deposit. And then you also have the ability to cash out up to $500 every single day if it's with Chase. But if it's not, then it's going to be 50 cents every time you do a cash out. So we're going to give the edge to Grubhub here because the daily cash out of $500 if you have a Chase account is really nice. Like those $2 or $1.99 fees from DoorDash with the cash out, the fast pay, like that adds up, right? So if all you have to do is go get a Chase account and then you're cashing up to $500 out every single day, like that's a really good benefit. And we think that is better than what DoorDash offers, although they're pretty similar. So you're not going to go wrong either way, but Grubhub is the winner here. So overall, I think the winner is DoorDash here. There's more order volume, there's going to be more opportunity. I think it's better for newer drivers. Now, Grubhub does have the edge on things like the pay, but really, these are very similar. Like I said at the beginning of the video, you can't really go wrong driving for any of them. So my recommendation, stack these apps, get as many of them as you can, start driving for all of them, and figure out which one you like the most, because it's probably going to be different for everybody. So that's it. This is Bobby from Millennial Money Man. See you in the next video.